Oi, don't be close. Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Sawa here with the Superfight cast and Alfred The Maker Stoddart, who has his next fight on March 9th at Beatdown Promos in Brisbane at the Eaton's Hotel. How are you, Alfred? What's going on?
How's it going? I'm doing okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm keen to get back on the mic this year, and we've been trying to line this up for a while, and I guess Christmas, New Year's being the bit of the busy end of the season didn't line it up, but really excited to talk to you. You've been making waves as usual and had a really busy 2023. Had a few fights there. You had the Demolition title to kick things off, debuted as a pro, back-to-back wins now, and I can see the new version of you at the moment. You've got that new physique, confidence in striking. It's all coming together.
Yeah, I done a interview a while ago where I said once I get comfortable, I'll be fine. And you've seen me when we spar. Like the way I spar and the way I fought for a while looked completely different. The weapons were occasionally the same, but the fluidity wasn't as there. But the comfort just kept coming in, and it kicked in like, funny enough, after the pro debut when I lost. Because it kind of like, the only reason it wasn't as comfortable and I wasn't as fluid as I needed to be was because I was like, it's a fight, it's a loss. What happens if you lose? Just do whatever you can to not lose and not get finished. And that tightens you up and gets you all like thinking about shit that doesn't exist to you or doesn't matter. Wins, losses, what they're going to think if you lose, what the promoter, will he get you again? It's your pro debut. What if you lose right away? And all you start thinking about the music, all this shit doesn't really matter at all in any way, shape, or form. If you're doing it for all those things, you're not going to have a long career because the stress itself will probably wipe you out a few fights in, especially once. And then if you lose under those conditions, you're pretty much done because you're fighting for other people. And once you, in your head, let those other people down, what's the point of fighting? So on my end, I realized like I wasn't fighting for any of that. I never started fighting for any of that. I never even started training fighting. I was training purely for myself and to master my own issues and my own self. And then that clicked everything back in place because I was like, well, you fought like the way you're supposed to technically fight, be in the zone, pay attention, be technical, don't get hurt, take this seriously. It's now a fight. It's not sparring. It's a big deal. There's money in the line. There's et cetera, and then you got your ass beat in 2 minutes. So it's like I could either get my ass beat in 2 minutes in the next fight doing the same thing, or I could just not give a shit and still get my ass beat, but at least I don't give a shit and I fought like my own self and the way I did it. And at least in that case, I get to improve on my own because of my things. I get to be like, oh, this thing I was trying to do technically and thing didn't work. I got caught. Now I can fix it. As opposed to like losing that fight and even winning other fights and just basically it lasts maybe a month. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't care anymore. Like I won the championship and I beat a pretty good guy, but within a month I didn't care anymore. Like because it just wasn't me I was watching knock him out. It was the person who needed to be there in that moment doing the things they needed to do to win the championship. As opposed to just Alfred got in a cage in his underwear on the middle of a Saturday and threw hands and did some jiu-jitsu shit with some dude. That's way better. At least then I can be like, oh, Alfred fucked that up or Alfred knocked that guy out. Instead it's like the technical MMA fighter did MMA to the other guy better than the other one could do MMA. And yeah, it's a waste of time at that point. It's like I'm not achieving what I want to be achieving while doing it. And then yeah, once I flowed through and just started doing whatever I wanted, it was beautiful. Because the Sam Dobb fight was that. You could see it right when he low kicks me. I think right after his first like flurry, and then he uppercuts me in the balls twice. Which I have a diamond cut. That shit didn't hurt. But I also was like, I just got uppercutted in the balls twice. That kind of hurt. But he's just going balls to the wall. And I was like, okay, let me regain my composure. Hey, ref. Oh, no, it hurts. Give me 2 seconds. And then I was like, okay, let's try this again. And I walked forward. And he throws a low kick, and I check it. And his leg wraps around my knee. And I look at him, and he's like trying. He's still going full game face. Like I know it didn't hurt him or anything. He's gonna just blitz me, and I look at him, and I smile, and I'm like, oh, I'm used to I'm used to this. Usually you're a bit taller, skinnier, lankier with better technique. You're usually Jack blitzing me for all days, or you're Sean blitzing me with death in every fingertip. I'm like, but you're way smaller now, and you're coming at me in a straight line with overhooks and double legs. I can deal with this. This is fine.
Yeah, for sure. I felt like, that fight was the version of you that really just like was focused the whole way through from bell to bell. And, you use your full range of striking. You didn't seem to be caught in the moment. That you weren't overthinking anything. You were just letting things come naturally. And you didn't rush a finish. Like there was a couple of moments there where maybe a younger you might have tried to throw something just to catch him, just to put him away. But I think you were doing that for yourself. I felt like in that fight, it was really for you. You just wanted to prove your technique and just kind of, just see the results of the fruits of your labor, all that hard training that you do. I know how hard you train. You're the sweatiest man in the gym by far. And that was that fight for you, I think. Like you'd already had your pro debut. The jitters were all kind of gone. That fight was for you.
Yeah. Like I wasn't even focused. I was just present. I was just there. It was like a sparring day. I walked in. It literally felt like when the lights and all that. Now the lights don't affect the tunnel vision you get from like your first fight is kind of gone. I'm experienced and all that. And then once the added blah, blah, blah is removed and it's just me and that guy in the cage, it's like, it literally felt like walking in on Sunday. I was like so chilled out about it that in that fight and in the fight in New Zealand, I was almost to the point I was confused why there was people outside in the cage watching me. Because I'm like, what are you people doing here on a Sunday? Like, what are you people doing on Tuesday sparring? Imagine you walked into sparring on Tuesday and there's just cameras and all of fucking Parramatta Road is like watching and shit. You'd be genuinely confused as like, what are you people doing here? This ain't that special. I got like 16 rounds, then I got to go home and deal with actual life. So that's what it was like. It's like, oh, whatever. I don't know why you people are here. Me and him get to go do the man dance. And I got to just do whatever I wanted. Usually when it comes to finishing people, I don't know how I discovered it, but I have a pretty good finishing instinct. I know when I've hurt someone, their eyes do like a slight glaze over that no one's been able to hide because usually you've been hit hard enough. I'm pretty precise with my shots. I don't just swing wildly. I swing at targets, and I know where I'm trying to hit. And if I hit it, almost everyone, if I hit them at the spot I'm trying to hit them, they do like this slight like paused glaze. And then I know I can just blitz them. They won't have the reaction time to catch me with 2 shots, maybe 1. So I'll always come in safe and maybe fake something and then flurry, and I know I'm going to land because they don't have the reaction time to do what they'd usually be able to do if they're not stunned, which is like block, roll, shoot a takedown. But with Sam, I hit him with some bricks, and he only ever glazed over on the head kick. Like before that, I'd hit him with 50 knees per round on those 2 rounds, and lots of punches. I clipped him across the face, and a bunch of shots that usually if I hit people with those shots, they go down or they get a little bit dizzy. None of that did anything to him. Like his eyes were there and locked in and aware and present the entire time, even when he's running around the cage. And then the head kick in the 3rd round is the first time I saw a crack in the shell where he actually, because you can't control it. You've just been slightly concussed. So he's like, his eyes glazed. And I was like, finally, I fucking broke him. So I'm going to fucking walk in. You can see me shake my arms out. And like, now because I know I can shake my arms out because he's not just going to blitz me. He's too hurt. He's too tired. He's too hurt, actually. So I'm shaking my arms out, get long, and I come in to start setting him up. I think I saw like 2 shots or 1 shot, and then he like skips left or right. At that point, the game plan he had been trying to do from the 2nd round, from half of the 2nd round onwards, was he knew he couldn't drive in because he's eating shots on the way in, and then once he's in close range, if he just drived in, I would have most likely given him got just enough space that now I can feed him a lot of shots while he's in close range, and then we exit out. And now that was a wasted opportunity. So the game plan became he'll just back off a lot and I'll chase him. If I jump and he steps at the same time, now he gets what he wants without taking any damage. Now he's on the inside, he's grabbing me, he can throw me. I just picked up on it because I could hear his coach and hear what he was trying to do, and I could see, and I know when someone's trying to do the come here game plan. So every time when I just wasn't rushing anything, I just stopped like far enough away that I could kick him, and I was like, no, you have to fight me. You have to come into this space, beat whatever techniques I'm going to hit you with, and then get whatever you want. And he was just like, yeah, no, I'm going to keep going this way. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll just keep following you. And when you stop, I'll start hitting you. And then you'll run away again, and we'll just keep this up until however long you want to keep this up. And then I could tell when he was blitzing. But yeah, this third round, I kicked him in the head. I'm like, I could see he wasn't trying to play a game. He was genuinely just like a bit out. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm coming to finish you. And I threw 2 shots. He skipped back, and I saw his eyes like fully snap back open, and he started looking at me, and he could tell like, okay, good, he finally got what he wanted, which is me on the hunt and chasing. And he's like, okay, instead of like throwing back when I should throw back now because I'm recovered, if I just keep like stumbling about this way, he'll come forward. And I was stepping in, and I took 1 step, and I looked at his eyes, luckily, and I realized like he's back already. It's been like maybe 5 seconds since the head kick. And I was genuinely in like shock, like, nah, there's no way he's back. He's probably like faking it. And I was like, I looked in his eyes, and I took 2 steps a little bit more cautiously, and I was like, no, he actually is like fully back. What the fuck happened? I kicked this dude clean in the head. Like, I wasn't even trying to kick him in the head because his arms were up here, and I'd kicked him in the body so many times. I knew he was going to try and catch it or at least block it. So I wanted to throw as hard of a head kick as I could just to bring his hands up. I knew it was going to hit his wrist. I just didn't anticipate. He thought that head kick was a body shot. So he goes to catch it, and it just goes as full force as I can to his chin, and I see his head rattle. So I'm like genuinely shocked. Like, it's been 5 seconds since I put my shin through your skull. How are you like actually recovered? What is going on here? So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll pace it again. I'll pace it.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I land another head kick, and this time he wobbles, and he can't hide his legs. Now they're doing chicken dances, and now I just really Looney Tunes straight up just chasing him around the ring, and then he recovered like 10 seconds later. That dude looked better than I did.
He was tough. He was definitely tough, mate. He was likely like just over the body kicks at that point as well. You know, he was like, look, I'll take a head kick over another body kick. I'll drop my hands here. Hopefully this is not going to hurt me.
He's the only one who would.
Yeah, he just wore it better. I mean, like, yeah. You look at what you did though over the course of that fight, and then you go into Shuriken fight series and you're up against Connor Woodman, and the in and outs and the 1-2s that you threw, just the way you landed, you threw a jab, you threw like a right, as if you were placing the shots and going, okay, I'm going to set up my 1-2 here. And then you started bang, 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 bang. And you were leaning in and out at the end of each of those combos. You're just landing them so flush. I could hear, I think it was it Chef Nick Kennedy that was just yelling out beautiful or just encouraging you there. And you just kept landing that combo. And I think in the third one, he just went down. It was so clean, so crisp. And I remember when I first saw the fight and I watched it live, I watched it and what went through my head was I went back to when you fought in your amateur career against Emil Jeffries, I think his name was, on Urban Fight Night. And yeah, Jerry's. And you just wrestle fucked him for 3 rounds. You just didn't want to strike. That was the game plan. You wanted to feel it. You wanted to go in and wrestle. And me being an angry teammate at home, I wanted to see you strike. I wanted to see you striking that day. And I feel like it's just come full circle now. You've had the experience. Like, you've been on Shuriken, you've been on Eternal, you've been on Beatdown, Superfight, Urban. Like, you're one of the most well-traveled middleweights at this point in Australia or in the ANZ region. And I think that's just like allowing you to kind of be yourself wherever the fight goes. And now you're just starting to put those experiences, whether it's like rocking Sam Dobb and having to kind of work out how to close that third round out, or debuting as a pro against a tough guy in Darcy. Like, you're now just seem to be so much more comfortable, and your IQ just seems to be not wasted. Like, everything's intentional at this point.
Yeah, that's the benefit of taking the hard road. Like, my record, there isn't many like even people or cans. It's like most people had a positive record and had more fights than me, or even taking the Darcy fight realistically shouldn't have been the right thing to do. But because of taking the Darcy fight, it's like I jumped in the deepest possible end of a pool there was when it comes to the pros, like 10-year pro, etc., etc., when I've never had a pro fight ever. And literally had been fighting people ever in life for maybe 5 years. Like, not even a fight in school when I was a kid. So it's like, yeah, you're going at that end. You get to see it. You get to see it and feel it and be like, oh, this ain't that different. The last thing I want to do is like take a bunch of light, easier fights over and over again, and maybe one small challenge, and then when you do get to the bigger guys and the big fish, you have to relearn how to swim again because you're like, or you get that, or maybe you avoid them just because you're like, oh man, they'd be really good. Because you can always, no matter what you do on your sport, you will always eventually look at your own record and be like, yeah, but no one I've beat is like fucking John Martin Frazier or whoever it is. You're never good. You always will be able to avoid those higher levels because you'll be like, they're a different person than me. They're fighting different because you yourself picked a path that was a bit easier to maneuver. Whereas I'm like, yeah, my second fight was Emil. He had 8 fights. I had 2. like that was my second fight ever. And then, oh no, that was my third fight ever in MMA ever. He had 7. And I'm like, okay, there's that. And then Christian Lapham, I fought him when he was 4-0, I think. No, yeah, it was on a 4-fight win streak, and no one wanted to fight him at all. And yeah, I went and fought him off of 1 victory after the Emil loss. And like, then I fought D. Samusoni, who was also getting ducked and couldn't find a fight as well. Fought Owen Coughlin, who beat Christian in 40 seconds. And then fought Darcy. It's like the road, and then fought Sam Dobb right after losing to Darcy with the kind of like word being out, like, I can't fight backwards. I don't know where the fuck that came from, but I was okay with it. I can't fight moving backwards, and I can't move around good or something like that. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I got a pressure fighter who just comes forward the entire time throwing bombs. It's perfect. But then, yeah, then I get that fight, which is like, if I can't fight moving backwards, I knew it at the moment the fight got given to me, and I watched watched the tape. I was like, oh, if I can't fight moving backward, this is the fight that's gonna expose the living shit out of that. Because I'll be moving backwards whether I like it or not. And that's why I sparred with Sean for the entire time, because you can't do anything but move backwards. If I'm not going to stand and trade with Sean, I'll die. And then after
I've had to do it, unfortunately.
Every time I'm like sparring and I just hear doom, and I'm like, no, it's not a kick. Someone just made the dumb mistake of standing in front of Sean for just a little too long, and now they're on the floor. And then I'm pretty sure
Sean wanted to go with me a few times when I was training for my fight, and I had to say, I'm sorry, mate, but you're banned for the next 6 weeks. I can't go near you. I can't risk this.
That's what I was thinking when I fought Darcy. I didn't spar with Sean, and then after Darcy, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Me and Sean, it was just me and Sean. For like 8 weeks, me and him, every time I came into sparring, was 3 5-minute rounds of just me and Sean only. So I faced death every single round for 8 weeks straight. By the time I got to Sam, I'm like, yeah, you can be as powerful as you want. You're never going to hit as hard as what I've had to deal with for 8 weeks. So let's go. And Sean is fast for his size too. And Sean, you hit him once or twice, and all Alfred's fighting, I should go lighter, goes away. He's just like, you die now. Come here.
Oh, it goes away. You hit him with a little jab or a check slap, and like it's a fight. That's it.
Yeah, I knew I had a really good fight up because I double-legged Sean, like full 2 feet in the air. And then I was like, if I'm this strong now, whoever I'm fighting is in for some heat.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too, because, you know, your physique and obviously your strength and your cardio is better than ever. But if you look at images of yourself when you were fighting in your amateur career in the early days, you look at images of yourself now, the physique is clearly changed. And I want to give a shout out to Rob from Black Mountain Athletic, who used to train with us at SBG. He's been a big part of that. What do you think's changed? Like, obviously you've been working really closely with Rob. You're training at SBG. You're also training at MMA family fight team. It all seems to be coming from all these different experts, trainers. You know, you're getting a piece of everything here. But specifically about Rob, like, what's the go there? Like, why is that partnership so good?
I've been working with Rob for about maybe a year now or so, or a year and a half maybe. It's just strength and conditioning because I train 7 times a week, like 3 times a day. So getting strength and conditioning in on top of all that was getting like harder to do. Me and him, we eventually negotiated a good enough schedule where I was like, oh, maybe I'm doing 2 in a week, and we're finding ways to sneak it through. But then after the Darcy fight, I was just like, nah, fuck it. Just give me a schedule that you do whatever you think is going to get to like the strongest you can, as if I'm doing nothing, but like I'm working around it. And I didn't work around it. I just went to train. I had a whole thing after the Darcy fight, no negotiations with the work, because there was a few times where it was like I got hurt and then I got sick and then I should go lifting, but I've just finished like 3 or 4 training sessions. I'm half dead. Da, 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 da. Now it was just like, no, do we have lifting today? We're going to go lift today. It doesn't matter that I just did 3 sessions. It's Thursday. I did the morning class, the afternoon class, whatever it is. We've got to lift. We've got sessions. Get to the fucking gym. Get it out of there. Just no negotiations whatsoever. And following Rob's instructions and constant feedback between me and him on where my body's at and what I'm doing is what actually like got me where I needed to be. Because yeah, now we can actually tell like, okay, you're redlining a little bit. Let's work on power. Let's work on strength. And then also again, because the like weaknesses I had on the strength things when it came to middleweights, feeling like they could move me around a little bit too much. And then the fact that I was telling him I need to be strong enough to defend myself and move myself off the fence or pin Sean on the fence. And he's like, that's a tough task. I'm like, yeah, but we got to get through it. And yeah, he set everything up. We built the strength incrementally and everything to the point that I could feel it week by week. At first, I'm getting pushed on the fence by Sean, and not much moving's happening at that point unless he wants it to happen. And week by week, I'm getting off position a little bit better. Boom. And by the time we reach 5 weeks into the camp, I'm the one initiating the clinch and walking him back to the fence. And by the time we reach 2 weeks before the camp, I'm shooting whole double legs, usually shooting them just to push him back to the center of the cage. But this time I shot one that hit so hard, both his feet got off the floor, and I was like, let me just see if I can actually finish this. And I ran through, and it was a big 2 feet double leg, and I was like, that was all Rob there. Because it's like, now I know I'm strong enough to launch anyone, anywhere, at any point. 15 minutes into a round of working the entire time, I can do it. And that's what happened at the end of the Sam Dobb fight. Is like, I was like, yeah, I might not finish him. I've got maybe 30 seconds left. I could hear Ben and Robin them tell me the time. And I was like, but it would be poetic if I slam Dobb. So I just like, boom, double leg, launched him as high as I could and just dropped him. It is flooding outside.
Yeah,
what the
beautiful.
fuck?
You put that in the memory bank. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Melbourne. It always seems to swap around Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah,
but,
it was just
I
it
wanted
got
to
wet
also
and dry. Yeah, now
Yeah.
it's soaking
that's all
right
good.
through the windows.
Are the windows open at SBG? They always are.
Just
right?
the one, and it's just like I'm too lazy to go close this shit because it's the one that's like broken, so you have to get like the weight and have it pulled in. I'm like, Ben has a mop, he'll figure it out.
That's all good. Yeah, yeah. Mop for your sweat. I saw your end of session the other day. I was like, yep, that's Alfred. But yeah, you are like the undeclared captain of SBG. I would say. I always looked up to you. You always gave me a lot of support, guidance, technical, all that stuff. You know, we've got Nick Kennedy's obviously holding the pads and wearing a lot of that damage. But every time I see you guys going at the pads, I got to tip my hat to Nick for kind of taking that on. You know, Akram's there, Typhoon Tim, you name Jack. It's a great team headed up by obviously Ben Power being the wizard of the place. And then you got a lot of stuff that happens at Rockdale over at MMA FFT. Talk to me about, I guess, how you've managed to split things at SBG, split things over there. What's been the benefit about having 2 gyms? I'd say it's sparring partners mostly, but what are your thoughts?
It's a mix of philosophies and a difference in it's 2 good cultures that are brought in different ways. Ben's very software first, hardware doesn't take too much damage, and technical in his like this for that position to do these amount of things and then do what you want. And Renato's very like, do this. If he does this, you do this, then that'll lead to this opening. That opens this. It's like a system is being built through there. And because that is being taught to, like, obviously all the guys here at SPG and all the guys there, it's developed a bunch of people with two different styles of philosophies of fighting, all the training partners. And for me, both those styles of training and stuff lead to me, each one filling the holes that need to be filled on each side. On this side, I get some of my more thinking battle spars like out of the way on the SPG, because like everyone's seen me, they know exactly what I've done, they've seen me since development, so they know how to get to me, and they know when if I throw a feint and they're like, you don't fucking throw from there, I know you're bullshitting. So I really gotta sell it, and I gotta set it up real well. That side I can be a lot more, I can sell it, I can send something, and I can they defend well, they wrestle a lot more, and I can work a lot more techniques. And the way it works is it actually worked out pretty well, because the holes in the schedule are with exactly where I just slot in each gym. Like on Sunday, there's no session at SPG, but there's sparring on Sunday at MMA FFT, so that fit perfectly. Wednesday, if I feel like I need to do more striking, there's no striking class besides Costro's pad work at night, and there's a kickboxing sparring at 7 o'clock on Wednesday at Rockdale, so I can just go do kickboxing sparring there with a bunch of the teammates. And then if I want to do jiu-jitsu on that Wednesday, I'll just come in and do jits at 6 till 7 here at SPG. So it fits really well. Thursday, I got the morning class over here. I do MMA and all the other stuff. And if I feel like doing more drills work repeatedly, I'll go MMA FT Thursday afternoon, maybe hit pads with Renato as well. And if I want to do more ground and pound stuff, then I'll just come into MMA class on Thursday here, the ground and pound at the Jits with Hits ground and pound day there. And it works really well just because of that. I can balance all those times, but it also works because I'm significantly more seasoned and I've fought a lot more. I wouldn't recommend like for instance some of the newer guys to like, oh, we'll split it between. It's like, yeah, well, I've mastered this system at SBG. Like, fair enough. I have the black shirt, which shows I've mastered the striking. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Like I've done I've grown up and was completely raised on the Ben Power system of MMA. You can't jump in and do and not be good at this one and then go start that one, because you'll just be shit at both. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it works because I can miss a jiu-jitsu session on Wednesday because my jiu-jitsu is high enough. I can miss a ground and pound wrestling day on Thursday because maybe I've already figured out this position, or maybe we're not trying to go to the ground with this person, or maybe I want to do a specific drill that I feel I'm lacking. I can pick and choose between those things because I've already proven and fought and done all those skills in the different ways. So it's like, it's privilege of the accomplished, if that is what it is, and it fits well because it's a good
You've got your bases built up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine obviously the sparring partners having that versatility, diversity across all your different training partners would be incredible. You can try different things out. You've got more middleweights to play with, or more light heavyweights and heavyweights to kind of throw around as well. How is the camp going? I feel like you probably just started. It's under 2 months away now that you'll be looking at Nick Kepu as the opponent over there in Brisbane. He'll be at home. You'll be traveling. How are we looking forward to this fight? Is there a particular game plan? Anything you're working on?
Yeah, spinning dick kicks is all I'm working on at the moment. And but yeah, the camps just kind of started. My camps never really end. I just kind of ramp down. I don't ever turn off. So I've been lifting. I've been training. I got a little sick 2 weeks ago and couldn't train as much. But the camp's it's fully starting this week because we're going back to regular scheduling. And so I've started my lifting in full force now yesterday, and pads, bags, all the stuff is going to be start ramping up. As for game plans wise, I used to really overthink the game plan shit, but I don't need a game plan. Like I've sparred people who've walked into the gym and it's their first day, and people who've been extremely good. And even when I go to MMA FFT, if I'm sparring a new person, my style and the way that I fight assesses people for what they are doing in the moment that day and then deals with it. So game plans, I don't need one and I don't have one. I just want to make sure, like I said, it's self-mastery. My weapons are at their sharpest and they're at their most deadly and most effective. And at the end of the day, it's an MMA fight. It's really not that complicated. It's a jiu-jitsu match if we hit the floor, and I'm pretty good at jiu-jitsu. It's a wall wrestling match if we hit the wall, and I do 100 rounds of wall wrestling a day. It's a striking match.
Yeah.
I strike pretty fucking well. So it's like I'm not uncomfortable in any position, and I don't need to worry or game plan for anyone's anything anymore. I've watched them all. Unless someone's doing something really unusual when I watch the tape, I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. We'll see what happens when it happens. You never know. A guy might show up and throw a 360
I like it, Alfred.
tiger kick.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're in a really good place for this year. You're primed. You're coming off those two wins, like I said. This will be the first of I think a busy year for you. Plan is to probably stay busy, I imagine. Is that right?
Yeah,
I signed with
the sports management Athletes Edge with Johnny App and Richie Walsh, who runs the I think he runs Ultra. I don't know if he still does. But like yeah, we're planning for 5 fights this year, hopefully. If I can get 6, that'd be great.
Nice.
I want 5 though. So we're looking at here and maybe something in New Zealand. I want maybe 2 international and then the rest here. I wish I could get a fight in Sydney. That would be a fucking godsend. I'm tired of going to other people's homes and beating them up in front of their friends and family.
Yeah.
It's a bit annoying.
You must have a lot of Qantas points or something like that.
The promoters have a lot
great.
of Qantas points.
Have you? Yeah, fair enough. I imagine now, like, under 2 months out, you're stopping the Smoking Gringos, or are they still going to fuel you for a few more weeks? The number 1 tacos in New South Wales.
Fuck no! Like I had Smoking Gringos like the night before I flew out to go to New Zealand. Like you've seen me sweat. Do you really think I need to struggle cutting weight? Like
No,
I eat
don't.
I eat whatever I want. I was 93 kilos the Monday of like the Conor Woodman fight on the plane to New Zealand, where the weigh-ins were the next day. They had like in-flight food, and I wasn't supposed to be eating at all at that point because now it's dehydration time. And I was just like, this shit smells really fucking good. I shouldn't do this. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just get the chicken and the veggies. And I ate it, and I was fully... Realistically, for that New Zealand flight, I really think I should have missed weight. Because I ate cakes and shit the week of the weight cut. Like, up to like 3 days before weigh-in. I ate cakes, I ate Smoking Gringos, I ate a whole pile of stuff. And then ate the night of, like, before actually cutting weight, like a full meal, basically. And then got to the hotel, and I was like, popcorn doesn't have any calories, and ate the popcorn. I should have missed weight, but that was such an easy weight cut. Like, it just came off of me so easily. I woke up like 1.5 kilos before the weight. Me and Nick did some wrestling drills repeatedly, and by the time I stepped on the scale, I was like on weight, and I was like, fucking great. And I sat around for like 2 hours to make the weight. I'm like, I got away with a lot. I was expecting this to be my tiramisu moment where I'm like, I missed weight by 2 kilos.
Hopefully they're all like that.
Oh yeah, now that I know I can get away with that much, the leeway is crazy.
Oh well, mate, it's exciting. It's exciting to see you in the pros now. You're putting it all together. You've got a good fight coming up, and I do hope to see you fighting at home in Sydney again. Hopefully you get something in Melbourne. I'd love to see you on a Hex card. Get you over here.
Yeah, Hex is the only place I haven't fought yet, and I want to fight there.
If you do, but I'm sure they'd love to have you, mate. But it's been great chatting to you. Starting the year off, have a good camp and everything. Say hello to everyone at SBG for me, and keep sweating, Alfred. I can't wait to see your next fight.
Yeah, will do, man. Thanks for having me as well. It's gonna be a good year. Some good times. Keep tuned.
No worries. Take care. Cheers.
Yeah, see you.